Alright, what is up YouTube? Invoked here with the King of Barr. For those of you that have been requesting his list. So Alright, sir, what did you play this weekend and why?
Kekk-Knight Invoked.
Okay. But why?
Well, the idea was to always win the die roll by attempting to go second. To play a hard counter to Goki, which I expected a little bit more of than I saw.
Okay.
And to play a deck that, outside of the Goki matchup, was still fairly competent and could easily clean up a rogue matchup.
Okay. Alright, let's dig on into this.
So for the Kekk-Knights, I played 2 Blue Sky. He was pretty good. I kind of wish I played the third. It just came up a little bit. And I played 3 Purple Nightfall. The main reason is you play 3 because blue is really bad if you have to go first, because he doesn't do anything. But the third Blue Sky helps you push a little bit more, and I felt that I was lacking that sometimes, where if I just have Purple Nightfall and they stop it, then it's nice to have this to follow up.
Okay.
And for the additional mechs, we played Move Map. Excellent, basically every time. Yellow Star, pretty solid actually. Red Moon, he was pretty bad, but
I've heard a lot of positive things about this one.
Yeah, Yellow Star is really good for just the outing floodgates and putting pressure, because sometimes you'll summon a Kekk-Knight and your opponent will do something like flip Rivalry. And so like, I had a game against Draco where I Blue Skied for Yellow Star, and he didn't want to kill this because he knew the moment that he did, I drop this in the column and kill the Rivalry. And so Blue Sky lived for 3 turns because he couldn't deal with the idea of Yellow Star, much less even summoning it.
Huh.
I eventually did summon Yellow Star and added Rivalry, but it was too late. 3 Alistair, 100% necessary. I think about cutting him to 2 sometimes because he clogs, but sometimes you don't see him and then you lose, so you really just need to make sure that you can see him. It's better to see him than it is to not see him.
Okay.
And then this is Hyper Goki preparation, 3 Cyber Dragon. This card was actually pretty good, despite not playing much Goki. It's really good in the mirror, because when your opponent goes first, usually they barely summon a Merkaba, and this just blanks it out for the OTK. It also clears out strikers, extra deck monsters without triggering Ray, and it's just an extra summon against every rogue deck. It's been very solid. I only side it out when I think I'm going first.
Okay.
For the hand traps, I went 3 Ash. Very good every time. It was the best I played this weekend. Follow that up with 2 Ogre, 2 Veiler. Ogre was very good. It's one of the few hand traps in this deck that has a slightly higher impact in the mirror versus the other ones, which I had to deal with because I played like 2 Kekk-Knight mirrors in a row. And it's just good for hitting the Blue Sky or the Firewall or the multi-roll or the Diagram. Those are mainly what you want to hit with Ogre. Veiler's pretty good. It's almost as good as Impermanence. Basically. I wasn't called by the grave this whole weekend, so Veiler was basically as good as Impermanence, except when I drew it at 6. 2 Desires, broken. Drew 2 every time, never do double Desires. And so this card put in most of the work this whole day. I activated this card every match and almost every game. We played 3 targets for it, and we'll get into what each of those do. But it's just so good at breaking apart boards or setting up for Alistair play. And we have 2 Terraforming, which gets us into our 3 Meltdowns. just needing to max out Alistair here. This card is kind of annoying sometimes, and sometimes it makes you make bad decisions because it's a bit of a choice. But it can bait an Ash occasionally, which is nice. And just seeing Alistair's insanely important. To Invocation, I cut this from 3, and honestly I've been very happy with it. Even at 2, I'm still dead drawing Invocation, but not nearly as bad as when I was playing 3. Honestly, the only real upside to 3 is that Ash doesn't stop your fusion play, but I basically never had an issue with that, and the Meltdown Invoker helps so much, because if you have instant fusion, you can search Book of the Law or Invocation, so honestly, more than 2 is just not necessary in my opinion. Alright, so these are the broken spells that we play at 1. Monster Reborn, and Searchable Monster Reborn. Book of the Law, and Oh My God, Why?
Yep, that looks normal to me. Cool.
Yeah.
What's left?
Oh, the last 2, we play 3 traps in our main deck.
Omega Summon?
Oh no. So these help you stop your opponent. They're like better Veiler slightly. There was one time where I used it drawn as a 6 card at the beginning of my turn, and that was the only time where it really felt better than Veiler. And the last thing is World Legacy Secret. Every matchup against a rogue deck, this helped me win. Every time I couldn't kill my opponent, but I had some Kekk-Knights moving, just searching this card, bringing back a Raijin, bringing back a Merkaba, even bringing back Indigo Eclipse, blanking out 2 monsters effects, that was usually strong enough to bring me to the next turn and to OTK them after that.
Cool. Alright, extra deck.
Alright, so this is the Spice. We play so many fusion monsters. Instant Fusion MVP. Summon this 80% of the time I activate an Instant Fusion. Slurps up a guy, makes Link Karibo. It's pretty good. Makes Alistair 80% of the time, because the Alistair Link is hard to make because all of our monsters are lights except Alistair. So, and there were a few times where I needed to Instant Fusion to make the Link in the first place. Mud Dragon.
Mud Dragon.
It was cool. I didn't really summon it much. The idea is that it blanks out the Goki extra link with Super Broly with you use Link Karibo and your Alistair, or with Sky Striker, Alistair, and Ray, Alistair and the token. And for the Invoked, we played a Raijin to summon off of Instant Fusion. I almost never made this off of Invocation. But Raijin was pretty good. He just helps you get there a little bit. Because I brought him back a few times off of, in the mirror, when I would go first. The best play I had where I would Instant Fusion, summon a guy. Okay, so I didn't open Alistair, so it's funny. So I Instant Fusion, open a hand trap, summon this in Veiler, make the Alistair Link. Invocation for Merkaba, which we play 2 of here. And then I reborn back this. Merkaba's just really good. Doesn't need any explanation. Purgatorio kills your opponent, and Alistair makes sure this kills your opponent too. Combos with Cyber Dragon, it's the last fusion monster we play. It was good. And then we play like 1 of Links. So 1 Karibo for 1,000 Eyes. 1 Alistair Link for the OTK. 1 Morningstar for the 2-turn grind game. The unkillable effect came up more times than you'd imagine. 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 Ningirsu. I didn't summon any of these once. And now for the card that I did summon, Spectrum Supreme. You mostly play it because Morningstar makes him really easy to make, because you just need 1 more Kekk-Knight instead of just 3 Kekk-Knights straight into it. When it was really good, it was really good. When it was bad, it was bad. I won games attacking directly for 3k, and I lost games getting Apocalypse down to 15.
Ugh. Alright, side deck.
Okay. So, I felt that Goki was pretty covered, so the only additional hand traps I sided in were Gamma and Driver. I didn't really side this against a mirror, but it was okay against Rogue sometimes. It's just hard because you summon monsters into a board, and you can't really Gamma a response to that. And then we played all the back row hate we could possibly imagine. 3 twin. 2 reboots specifically for Alter Guys, occasionally Drago. I didn't play Alter Guys, so they didn't come in. 3 evenly matched. I sided this in a lot. I saw it not once. And now these are more for a Sky Striker, 2 Typhoon. You hit the multi-roll. Against Draco, you hit Diagram. Any deck that's going to floodgate you, you hit this, draw it as your 6th card. There was the moment they flip something. I didn't see it, but it would have been pretty good. And this was the last minute choice.
Ooh, Whispers.
So basically, the way the Secrets negates monsters effects from the columns that a Kekk-Knight is in, Whispers does the same thing for spells.
Oh.
And so the idea is if I were to play against Pure, they would make me go first at some point. That's what my deck has a hard time doing. And you just instant fusion in a Kekk-Knight into Morning Stars, search this, and then you negate the 2 engages or the engage and the afterburner, and there's not really much they can do after that. Now tempo's back in your favor and you go to K next turn.
Any final comments?
So, one of the downsides to playing this deck is that it is insanely format dependent. So, and also the mirror match has just the insane amount of variance in it. You're relying on your opponent to do certain things. And the deck can be very resilient and very explosive, but it's sort of a mixed bag. You can draw all Alistair and have no plays, draw all Kekk-Knights and have limited plays. And so it's probably better to take to established format rather than something like this.
Okay. Alright, Mr. King of Barr, you finished what, X3?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Peace out.